Come on, machine. There we are. We are live. Good morning. Today is, there it is, February the 3rd, 2024. We started this service in the pandemic in April, 52 weeks in a year, but as we are counting, not, we are, we're at service number 200 today. This is service number 200, and I am joined by people far and wide in lots of places. There they are. I'm going to zoom in on all the people. There's all the people, and we decided that we were going to wear hats today. So everyone, if you would lean yourselves in so that people can see your hats. There we go. Lots and lots of hats today. And we're doing things a little bit differently. A long time ago, there was a service where something went wrong, and I said, folks, at the end of the day, I am running this service. And it didn't, it rang off awkwardly. And then to make things more humorous, not intentionally, I promise to you it was accidentally, I logged everyone out. And it was a hilarious moment where it's like, I sure didn't mean to flex my power. The reason I bring this up is because there was a coup over the last few weeks of what to do on Service 200. And I was told the people united will never be defeated. And the people...
I don't know that those words exactly were used.
I was not going to say name any ringleaders, but Joe, thank you for outing yourself.
I'm pretty good at that. That's why I'm a terrible liar.
Open and honest, and that's just fantastic. So the idea for Service 200. Idea for Service 200. I apologize. I couldn't hear what was going on if I just talked over you. Service 200 is that I was going to take a back seat, and people were going to share, and people were going to wear hats. That was a requirement for today. Not a requirement. This is religion outside the box. There's very little that's required. People were encouraged to wear hats if they wanted to, and I'm going to take mine off because I have a hat under a hat because Rabbi. And the idea today was that people were going to feed back what they have learned in this service. And I'm going to share one thing that I have relearned or been recommitted to in these services, which is, it's like that story of stone soup. You remember the story of stone soup where someone says, I have all the ingredients for a soup, I'm just missing, what is that you have? Turnips? I'm just missing turnips. Can you put in? And it starts with a stone and turnips and carrots, and everyone puts a little bit extra in, and something magical comes out. And that's what this service feels like to me. Is I said, hey, I have this idea of running a service. I want to run a religious service where the entry fee, not literal fee, but where you don't need to memorize a litany of Hebrew words to be able to have prayerful experience. That I wanted to figure out, how do we have a service where people can just show up, and this might be your first time showing up, this might be your 200th, where people can all show up and still feel moved and have a service. And I didn't know how to do that, but I let it out as an idea, and you all came in and helped to make the soup. In my head, that was a lot tighter than it came out, but I think it was, the idea was good enough, and you guys can simmer it down and reduce it to be flavorful. Okay, I'm going to leave that analogy alone, and I'm going to, as instructed, turn this over to Joe and Maria for running our service today.
All right, I'm going to start. So we just want to welcome everybody because today is a special day as it's episode number 200. And we want to take this service to show our love and appreciation for Rabbi Brian, who is showing unconditional love and kindness to us. And without them, we wouldn't have this beautiful, strong, and supportive community that has developed and grown over the last almost 4 years
Yeah.
And continues to grow and develop. And as RB just told you, for this celebration, we want to think about one thing that we have learned so far from Saturday services that has stuck with us and has made a large impact on our lives. So, to that end, we are going to start off the sharing with some people who have known Brian for a long time, and most have even met them in person. So they are going to share what RB and the service means to them, what they've learned, and why they keep coming back. And then after that, we are going to start, we'll open it up to the crowd to share about what RB and Saturday services have, how they have touched your lives. You can also post in the chat what this means to you. RB reads the chat later, so try to keep it nice. And Al Brown has volunteered to start us off today. So.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Maria.
Hi, Rabbi. Hi,
I
everybody. I just have to say how thrilled I am to be here for this 200th service. Rabbi and I go back to the days before he was rabbi, when we were just in grade school. And I just remember our experience at collegiate school for boys in New York City as being a time that was not so spiritual or religious, full of a lot of judgment, full of a lot of black and white, full of a lot of can you do better?
Yeah.
One of my favorite learnings that you've given me, Brian, is the idea that getting a C can be a good thing. But that certainly wasn't what we were brought up with in school. I remember when we were in grade school, we first started getting grades. We not only got a grade, we got a rating for our effort.
Oh.
And of course, the effort wasn't just a description of the effort that you put in, it was a rating. It was an amount. It was a judgment. It was very, very a good example of what it was like growing up together.
Yeah.
So I look at it as a kind of a miracle that that you've come to where you are today, that you're sharing with us things like the beauty of infinity, the beauty of putting questions before answers, because certainly collegiate answers came before questions. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just so grateful for you for all the things that you've taught me, how you've helped me open up my heart. I've helped me open up my brain so that my heart can have space to get into my brain.
Oh, I love that. I love how you said that.
And you've just been a very important part of my life for a lot of years now. So I appreciate you.
I'm going to allow myself to respond.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you, Al. Thank you for saying all that. I'm sitting here and I'm having a hard time taking all of this in. And when I think,
swallow.
and when I'm thinking about it, it's easier to think about, but to feel it's hard. It's really, that's all I can say. Is it is a hard thing to take in the compliments, and I appreciate it. And I might not be taking in the compliments perfectly, but as you helped me to remember something that I have helped others to remember, it's fine not to do this shit perfectly. Thank you, Al.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
That fits right in with the next person, who is Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Yes. Hey, Rabbi. I get tongue-tied, so I wrote something out. So I'm going to read this. I want you to know that I am a different Emily. Oh, Emily, now stop it.
Oh, I'm going to start crying too, honey. Let's do it.
Okay. 200, different than I was 200 Saturdays ago. And I blame you for that. You've been very supportive of my spiritual growth and the paradigm shift in my brain. You've been my cheering section all along. I have felt it. How did that happen, Rabbi Brian? You listen to me even when I'm inarticulate and I feel afraid to open my big mouth. You once said to me when I asked you if you would be my rabbi, you said you were honored to be my rabbi. What? Me? Heard by a holy man. Wow. I came close to spitting that out, and I almost did, but I took my own advice and I swallowed it. You continued to want me to hang around, even when I said fuck. And you said fuck was a good word, and then I decided to swallow that too. You notice I'm not saying fuck quite so often anymore. Your affirmation says that I'm okay just the way I am. You clap for me. You say amen for me. In turn, I clap for you, Rabbi Brian. And I clap for this group, and I say amen for you. And I clap for the rest of this damn fine people.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Emily. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, is right.
All I got is thank you. All I got is a big thank you. There's a note coming in from Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. It's really, folks, this is just it's a bit overwhelming. I'm seriously just doing my thing. I'm just doing what it is that seems natural to me to do, and the fact that it impacts you so much is mind-boggling. Keep it coming, Joe. Let's keep this going until I'm a puddle here.
Okay.
Next up is Carol.
Uh-oh.
You have done the very unusual thing of being a magnet for an amazing community. These are the most wonderful people I have met, and they're from all over the world, and I would not have met them had it not been for you. One is from Sweden, a couple are from Canada, a bunch are from California, a bunch are from the state of Washington, Virginia, Arizona, not too many from New York City. But it is very rare to find people you can talk about important things with, not small talk, but really important things. And here, everyone in the group has been generous in sharing what matters most to them and really open to hearing what other people say, even if they don't agree with it.
Yeah.
What I have learned, of all the things I have learned, is that the most important thing is relationship. And you have created this community, and there are people in this community I hope to know for the rest of my life, and so I thank you profoundly.
Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol. Oh, golly. You've reduced me down to golly. This is an amazing group of people, and I didn't do it. I just opened the door. I put the stone in the soup pot. Y'all brought it. I'll take some of the credit because you just gave it to me. But yay! Got a beautiful little note on Facebook from Shirley. Thank you, Shirley. Keep it going there. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fit out of the door with my ego extended as much as today.
I'll just put it in your back pocket.
Thank you, Jack. Joe, who do we got next?
Alex is up next.
And then I know there are people who are volunteering who weren't listed, so they will get to you next. But there's a batting order.
Yep. Yep, correct.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yep. Go ahead, Alex.
So I'm one of the people that I guess can say that they've known Rabbi for a long time. I think we are over 20 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I met Rabbi when he was doing traveling rabbi stuff, and he turned up at a congregation that I was at, and we met. And for the longest time, I used to send him these emails occasionally, and I'd say, I don't know if you remember me, but we met at such and such. And I was the person who was with this other partner who was sort of notable, and he would always go, yes, how could I possibly forget you? And this went on for several years as I would, every time I would email him. And obviously we are still friends. And from a personal standpoint, I appreciate Brian as my friend
Thank you, honey.
a lot. And I appreciate, Brian, what you've done with this community and how you've created it, because it's not just created a group of people, it's also spun off other groups of friends. And I think that that's pretty amazing. So I have to second everything that Carol has said. There are also some very practical lessons that you've given me that I apply regularly to my professional life. And in fact, one of them I even used just yesterday, which was the 5 levels of learning. I have a coworker who is learning some new skills. He's struggling with them. And some of the skills that I'm trying to teach him, by their very nature of learning them, they're going to make you feel really small,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how it works. And so I explained to him the 5 levels of learning. You can't do it, complete mastery, could do it with help, could do it with hints from someone else, could do it with hints from yourself. And he felt so much better after I explained that to him, because he was feeling really, really small. So I'm going to say that a lot of the lessons that you teach us not only are valuable in a spiritual sense, but they are also very valuable in just practical everyday life. And
Thank you,
I
Alex.
I thank you for that.
You are very welcome. It's all about love, and you can't get to love unless you got patience, and you can't get to patience till you learn how to do it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, Alex. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, there's a special subset of people who I've actually given physical hugs to, and I look forward to making that everybody. But for right now, Alex, you are in that other group. Who else do we got there, Joe?
The next
Maria?
person up, we do see you, Ruth. So we've got a little bit of an order, but we will be opening it up to anyone. The next person up has known Brian their entire life, and that would be Sari.
Yeah, achoo! Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Here. You taught it, I absorbed it, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to be able to share it with the entire community, understanding what it means.
Yeah.
Needs no words.
Thanks, dude.
Yay.
Thanks, dude.
Next up is Afia.
No. Where is she?
Right here. Hi.
Oh, hi, Boo.
He's ready to be a puddle. Okay, so do it.
Wow. Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I think the prompt was something we've learned from you and the service and what this space has meant. I am pretty shy about being in communal spaces, even though I have a longing for group experiences. And aside from all of the practical, sayings and exercises, I think the most profound thing that you've shown is that it's possible to create remote community that can help people to endure the entire roller coaster of life. And I think it's interesting that you keep using the stone soup analogy because there's something profound about the first ingredient being a rock.
Mm.
And I know that there are times when you don't always feel as solid as a rock, like you even just said, I'm ready to be a puddle. But the first ingredient has to be something grounding and grounded. And I hope that however long this experiment of yours continues to last, that you at least give yourself the credit of having reflected back to you that you were solid enough to make something that could continue to grow and mean something so profound to so many people. I also think that it, more than anything, you know, we are all aware of how difficult it is to find positive leaders in the world, and there's been something very subtle yet immeasurably valuable about you being a real person in a leadership capacity for us. To show that the strength of leadership is when it's diversified by the people who are in the group that the leader has brought together. And so I think you are demonstrating more than I think you realize. And I'm going to depart with a prayer, a blessing, a wish for you, is that you are able to let more than just your ego take in what's happening. I know you made that as a joke, but I think that you are deserving of as much nourishment as you have offered. And so I hope that this service at least reminds you of how much you're worth and that you let yourself take all of it in.
Well, thank you, beloved. Thank you, Afia.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, Emily. Amen.
The last one up before we open it up is your fabulous chess partner, Jordan.
Yay.
Brian. I have a confession to make to you. I didn't quite get what's going on when I started coming here.
I didn't either. I don't.
I started coming because I wanted to get to know you. I just met you. I thought you were really interesting and cool, and I just wanted to kind of know more about you. And I started coming, and even though I didn't quite grok it at first,
Did you just use the word grok?
I did use the word grok.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure.
I think I dated myself. It so yeah, there are all the specific learnings that I've appreciated, but I think what kept me coming back and what I've really learned to love and appreciate is this warm, supportive community, and I didn't realize how much I was missing it. I had sort of been estranged from religious, spiritual communities. I grew up with the call and response, the mumbling in Hebrew, and it just didn't do very much for me, and I didn't really get it. But here, somehow being in community, every week, and learning these things together, and just getting to know everybody, it's just been such an important part of my life. So, Brian, thank you so much for making this possible and for contributing to my growth as a human being. I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you. You are welcome, and I thank you, Jordan. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
So I thank you, the first 7 who have shared with us your love for Brian, and help them sort of turn into a puddle. So now I'm going to turn it over to Joe for the next part. Please don't be surprised if she breaks out into song.
Oh. Happy 200 to you. Happy 200 to you. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna actually tag team from Jordan, who set me up beautifully, and we didn't even plan that. Jordan mentioned the word grateful. And so about this time, usually on Saturdays, we take a pause and we think about gratitude. And that's what I'm here for today, of course, is gratitude for not only 200 service, but 0 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the one lesson that I remember about gratitude, in fact, is that this lovely rabbi taught me that the mother or father or king of all virtues is gratitude. And so if you can find gratitude, the rest of them will all follow. And that is something I learned early on, and it's absolutely 100% positively the truth. In some of the worst circumstances, if I can find a grain of something to be grateful about, it not only gets me through the situation, but it helps my perspective change about the situation. And so for that, I'm immensely grateful. And so we're gonna, like we usually do, in this gratitude sort of 1 minute-ish, anyone that has like a word, and we're gonna let everybody, as many people as can speak today in the hour, we're gonna try to include 54 people. And so just for this next moment, a word of gratitude that makes you think about Rabbi Brian. Let's just take a minute and just popcorn some words. And I'll start with cute hat.
Community.
Yeah.
Not religious.
Authenticity.
Sanity. Humor.
Fun.
Humor, fun, yeah.
Invitation.
Affirmation.
Affirmation. Lovely.
Maybe
Honesty.
No.
Non-judgment.
Woo! Naughty words. Love.
Love.
Hmm.
There's a word in the chat that says mensch. M-E-N-S-C-H. I don't know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. It's Swedish
Is that a
word.
good word?
That's a good word. That's a really good word.
It's a great word.
That's an honor.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Okay. All right. And the timer says we did our minute. Thank you for gratitude. Rabbi, thank you for teaching us gratitude. Thank you for emulating gratitude. So we did have people that I'm going to ask just for today, if you can, if you do your electronic hand, you automatically move to the top row, and then we can see you. If you don't know how to do the electronic hand, we'll find you. But if you know how to do the electronic hand, that will help us see you and make sure we don't miss anybody. So first thing I see your electronic hand, please go ahead and share.
Ooh, where would that be on an iPad?
You're doing fine. Just talk.
Oh, well, I'm really grateful for all the things. Oops, wait a second. I took my camera off. Okay, well, learning to use the electronics to make this all possible. It's just been revolutionary for me, and this wonderful community that I've become a part of feels closer than any community I've ever been in. And just
Thank you,
so
Betsy.
much for everything, Rabbi.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you so much, and for thrilling us with song and being a dedicated member. I'm reflecting. I'm going to just take the compliment in. Thank you. I'm going to call on people because it just make it easier. Ruth, I see you're the next one up there.
I came to Rabbi during the pandemic when he was on for 6 weeks. I still don't know how I made the connection, but it was the best thing ever. And he was on for 6 weeks at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you could hear me hollering through the apartment, "I'm coming, Rabbi, I'm coming." And it was really helped me to get through many of you were part of that, but
Thank you, Ruth.
I have a very special connection to Rabbi because his sister lives in my building. That's a New York thing. You have connections.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Ruth.
When I explained to Rabbi that I am profoundly hard of hearing and I needed captions, he figured out how to get me captions. So that makes me a part of this community. And I gotta tell you, if any of you have had this experience, it's very wonderful to be included. And the best lesson I've learned, Rabbi, is it's okay not to be okay. And I just want to thank you, Rabbi, for being my rabbi.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you for saying that. It all means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you, Ann Swanson.
Thank you, Ruth, for setting me up here. In my leadership programs, we learn over and over again that the best leader is one who creates a space and holds the space so that everyone can thrive. And that describes you, Rabbi Brian. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ann. Thank you. I think that's just brilliantly put. Brilliantly put. Missy, go ahead. Thank you, Ann.
Actually, Missy, just before you, I'm going to break in. Tom Freeberg had asked to say something.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
Raise his electronic hand.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Tom.
All right, good, thank you. I am a techno bumbler this morning, but anyway, Rabbi, I guess what I'd like to say is you are a master gatherer. This kind of reflects, like Carol mentioned something about this, and some others have mentioned community. But I think of you, these words came to me this morning, that you are a master gatherer or a great inviter. And not only have you invited me and us into this space in general, but each time I show up, I feel invited to something new or deeper. But what I've learned or relearned is just that there are so many good, curious, spiritual people in this world. And for all of those who are part of Religion Outside the Box and the Saturday service, it just warms my heart that for all of those, all of us who are here, there are surely thousands and thousands of fellow seekers we don't know about. So Saturday service keeps me curious, gives me hope, and keeps me connected to my brothers and sisters, known and unknown.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for saying it. Also, let me take that in for a second. Thank you, Tom. And thank Tom for being Tom's the reason we have a poetry room. Tom and some other people said, "Well, can we keep meeting after the service and do more?" And the answer was, "Of course." So, thank you for bringing that. And let me bring in my friend Missy.
Thanks. And Tom set me up perfectly because part of what I want to say is first is wow. I mean, wow about this community and all the people in it, and the blessing that it's been in my life to have discovered y'all. I haven't been with the group all that long, and I have been welcomed in a way that I can't remember being welcomed into a community, and I've been honored in a way that I can't remember being honored in a community in a long time, just by this type of community, by people that I am so enamored with. I've got huge big crushes on everybody. You're all so smart and brilliant and generous in so many ways that I am so honored to be a part of this group of people. And so I just wanted to express that.
Thank you, Missy.
One of the things I tell people when I tell them about Religion Outside the Box is that you, Rabbi, have this way of taking our most human foibles, our ways of being human that we, as spiritual seekers, as people who wish to be, you know, impactful in a good way in the world, take those pieces of us and make them okay. So there's the it's okay to feel okay piece. But the thing that I often say, because I was raised in a home where I wasn't allowed to be angry, is it's okay to be angry, just try not to do it when you're mad. And I've been mad before, and that is not pretty. And so I'm learning how to be angry where it is useful. But then the last thing, I have this little note. I can't remember who the quote is because it's not you. I'm sorry, Rabbi. Maybe that'll help deflate your head when you try to leave the room. But it says, "How am I supposed to love?
Mm-hmm.
Do it wastefully."
That's John Shelby Spong.
Oh, that's right. I asked you that in a text, didn't I?
It's all right.
My memory. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rabbi. Thank you,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Beautiful community.
Okay, it's my service, so I get to change the rules a little bit. I am going to say a little something. It is all about love, and that's the stone soup part. But I really do believe it, that if I come to people open and with a soft heart, and I invite people in, that people know what to do. Y'all know what to do, and y'all brought it and came and have been soft together, and I think we can all do this in our lives. I'm so taken by this idea, and it seems to work. Paula, go ahead.
A lot of times I'll listen and I'm going, as later on in the week, or even 2 weeks later, something you will have said will have floated into my head, and I think, that's what Rabbi Brian said. But the thing that I am most grateful for you for is the quote that you say at the end of every meeting, is that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And that has gotten me through a couple of really bad days.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for it. That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing that, Paula. Yeah. Hey, that reminds me, I have an announcement I want to make. I have one announcement to make, and it's this announcement.
It's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay. It's so... When we're having a hard time, it's really hard to remember that. But it's so important. And all for us to forgive ourselves for having a hard time. We don't need to beat ourselves up that we're having a hard time. That's just not fair. It's just not fair. It's not cool. It's nothing we would have anyone do to themselves, and we got to stop doing it to ourselves. Thank you for the reminder, Paula. Bob, you're on mute, buddy.
Thank you for reminding me about that. That in my faith journey, that I think I found you at the right time, and that we've had many discussions and many emails passed back and forth with pet names and other things like that. That it's just been a wonderful experience, and I feel honored to be part of your team of wonderful people, and that it has just been an amazing and lovable experience and learning experience and sharing experience, and I value that very much.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you. You have taught me greatly as well. Thank you. Thank you. Ron, and go ahead.
I have, since I escaped the evangelical holiness tradition many years ago, I've flitted from spiritual practice to spiritual practice. And I met Rabbi Brian at my son's wedding. And we got to talking, and it was just wonderful. I really hit it off with him. He told me about religion outside the box, but it really sounded great, but I got distracted. And then I had a friend who's here who went through some incredible trauma. And I heard from other friends about how she had been loved for and cared by this community. And so I came and checked it out, and it was this community is a perfect place for me as a pagan Quaker and spiritual anarchist to be able to seriously look for a spiritual practice and people to be with without being bound to any one creed or culture.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. I thank you kindly. Thank you for your words, and the love. Derek, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I only had my secondary with whom you barely taught me a law first, and that in itself is a little bit of a miracle. But after 200 meetings and 2 years, I can only say that I have learned that I really, really, really don't like crazy hats.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you for keeping that under your hat for so long. Harold, Connie, one or both of you, go ahead.
Well, we belonged to a Methodist church for our entire married life, and it came to a point that it wasn't working as spiritually for us at all. And Harold found you. He found you on the internet, and so he had watched you for several weeks, and then I said something about coming in, and he said I could. And so the idea of being able to be a part of the people who are as smart and as intelligent as this group of people are is a wonderful feeling for us to know that there's people out there that think like us, that believe like us, and are not connected to a congregation of people who are sitting there being very judgmental and very unkind. And this group is just the opposite of all of that.
Oh, thank
you.
You're welcome, Connie. And I remember, Connie, many services where it was Harold, and then you would flit in the background, and then eventually you joined us, and it was. I think originally you were joining us facing away from camera, off camera. I'm glad to have you fully in. Alex, Scott, what you got?
Just a moment.
Oh, sorry.
Just a moment. I just want to, after Alex and Melissa, we still want people to share, but I'm going to do the prayer list.
Okay. We'll take a break after Melissa. Go ahead, Alex and Scott.
One of the lessons that you taught early that I use a lot is to remind myself when I'm in an argument with somebody to remember that you said that we're screaming at each other because our hearts are very far apart.
Yeah, trying to make up in volume for the distance of our hearts. This is a beautiful idea. And when I can remember it, I don't always remember it, but when I do remember it, it helps. Thanks for the reminder of that, Scott. Melissa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for picking me. Rabbi, I so appreciate this community. There are people here that I feel safe if I have an emergency to call at like midnight. I haven't had to, but to know that I have friends that in this community that I could call if I needed to is really means a lot. And your SML thing that you taught, I should, I might, I'd like to, I want to, I plan to, I promise to do this thing has helped me make some really big, healthy life changes that I don't know if I would have been able to make without that process. So the lessons have been helped me to be much kinder to myself. I'm much more gracious to myself than I was before I started listening to this community and the services in 2020. And then, the other thing I really love about this is, I work and I have times where Saturday just doesn't work for me to come, and I come when I can. And I never, ever get where were you last Saturday? How's your walk with the Lord? So I'm like, if you gave me a trip about not coming, you'd never see me again. So I really appreciate that I can come and I'm welcome every time I come. And if I don't come and I watch on YouTube later, that is okay too. So I just love you. I love you all. Namaste.
Thank you, Melissa. Maria, bring us over to prayer time.
These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Anne, Rob B., Sheridan H., Ken Gerber, Greg, Peggy, April, Andrew, Iggy, and Marv, Christina Guzman in spirit and Greg Finley in spirit, Cousin Ken, Magic Keith, and Jill's sister's dog, Kathleen Kreindler, Henry Kreindler in spirit, the Rainbow Kids of Alberta and their allies, Jolene M. in spirit, Matthew and Sarah, Peggy C. in spirit, Mike, Laura, and Michael, Eva L., Karen K., Angela C., Eloise, Eileen, Raina, Mary, Paula, and Tina, and to you, Rabbi Brian. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Thank you. Let's take a minute of time.
Rabbi, can we all have a look at the sign in back of Maria, which he recently changed?
Sure. What, Maria? Can you tell us? Bring that to us before we do our minute.
I can. In this house, we believe Black Lives Matter, women's rights are human rights, no human is illegal, science is real, kindness is everything, love is love, and one of the most important to me, silence is violence.
Amen. Let's take a minute of time. Thank you, Ruth, for bringing that to us. Let's take a minute of time just for reflection. Okay, there's a minute. I will take a moment just to say, if you'd like to join meditation time, weekdays, 2 p.m. Pacific. I broadcast a meditation on Facebook and wherever you're watching live now, except for the Zoom, but you can find me at rotb.org. You can meditate along with us. We have some more hands that are up. John, go ahead, my friend.
First I unmute.
Yes, you have to.
Then I say thank you for having the integrity to allow you to be you completely. And in turn, thank you for the encouragement that makes me work hard to be the best me I can be.
Beautifully said, John.
Amen.
That's what I'm going for. Thank you, John. Beautifully put. Jeff.
I've got two things. Number one, a personal one, that something you taught me that I didn't know at all, is the space between observation and judgment.
Yeah.
Making that a space was one of the most important lessons I've been taught. The other thing is, for 200 sessions, approximately between 40 and 50 people take time out of their busy day, week, and schedule to sit here.
Yeah.
You have made a tribe that did not exist. And for that, there's not enough thanks in the world.
Thank you, Jeff. It is truly overwhelming and beautiful to take all that in. Go ahead, Lee.
I'm just gonna make this pretty simple. The fact that your daughter actually wanted to join some of the meetings, I don't know if it was because she just wanted to rib you after the fact.
I think so.
To me, that was very telling of how you embrace people in your lives, including your kids.
Thank you, Lee.
And that's a huge thing to see. I don't know, like I don't know if she's trying to poke, the crap out of you after the fact.
I'll add in one of the things I'm proud of is that I've given her absolutely no mind or attention to the fact that she doesn't come anymore.
Yep.
And I think that's that she sleeps in now, but that's all right. Go ahead, Meg.
You have provided a great deal of positive energy to my life, which I greatly appreciate. I also appreciate the number of people that I now think of as friends that I meet, even when you're around. But one of the big things is your ability to laugh when you have made a boo-boo. Not that I ever point them out to you, but you still laugh.
I think we could roll the tape and we might see that it might have happened once.
Yeah. Oh, maybe so. Anyway, love you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Meg. Thank you. Sparky, go to your bed.
I love that Sparky is welcome as well.
Yeah.
Sparky, for those of you who don't know, Sparky is our meditation instructor. Thank you all. I do feel like I need to say something in return, which is I didn't I'm just being me. Thank you, Rob. I'm just doing me. I'm being me. I'm being as authentic and honestly me as I can, and trying to lead with love and honesty. Really, a lot of just open honesty, and it's amazingly attractive to people. And I think you all have seen that. The more you bring yourself and put yourself out and be part of this and being vulnerable, the more people love on you, especially in those broken places, the places where we don't feel like we deserve love as the place that other people can love on us the most. It's amazing, just amazing. I don't know what I'm saying right now, and that's fine. I have one other thing that I have thought ahead of time that I had wanted to say. If you go back 199 services and you watch this on YouTube, and I ask you to please don't do that. The first one of these services, I had a game show, I had theme music, and it was much more da 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 da, and I was trying to entertain you, because there was a pandemic going on, and it seemed like a good thing to do, to bring people together. Hey, look, let's all do this together, and it was much more frenetic. And you guys have really taught me, and this has all evolved. You have taught me to just be me, just to be authentically me, and to forget telling jokes to you, and to just be real. And that's far more attractive and engaging than, I might have done a magic trick at the beginning. Far more engaging than that. So thank you for teaching me. And if I had a lesson to come out of all this, is I didn't plan how this was going to be. I just worked with it and evolved with it. And I really do think this is what art is about, and this is what life can be about, is seeing what works and going towards that unknown. Oh, I feel like I'm just fucking pontificating and just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. And I'm going to do this thing that I learned to do, I don't know, maybe service 25 or so, where I just look at the pictures of all the people who are here. So I'm going to minimize my other screen and just look at all your faces here. And take in that love. I appreciate it. Oh, and I see page 2. Hi, Candace and Greg and Steven. I didn't see you, Hugh. Hi there. And all the other people who are here. Thank you all for being a part of all this. Let's just keep seeing where this goes. I look forward to service number 204. I'm not going to plan that much further out. But I'll be here. Okay, Joe, thank you for wrestling this service away from me. Maria, thank you for enabling Joe. And thank you all. I am the luckiest. I'm the luckiest clergy person that I know. I get to have a congregation that's so supportive and so real, and I'm not selling my soul out, saying anything I don't believe in. I'm not. I'm not pretending, and it's not read between the lines. This is such an honest, open service, and I appreciate you all voting for it with your time and coming. Please tell your friends. I know it's socially taboo to tell people to come join a religious group. Get over it. Tell your friends. Thank you.
You're lucky to have the luckiest clergy person.
Thank you. I am so honored. So honored. I'm going to hand this back over to Alec. I'm going to stop let's do that thing where we wave goodbye to all the people who are joining us elsewhere. Bye, everybody. I'm going to go to the other page of people. There, we got lots of. Wait, hold on. Keep waving, would you? There you go. There's everyone. Okay, and then I hit off. Wait, not yet. Okay, keep waving. Come on. Okay, wait. Shit, wrong screen. Okay, bye.